moratorium's a pause. And so right now these decisions are made on the county level, and I think they should remain on the county level. What I think that the state government should do is set the broad rules of the game to say that we're not going to allow these projects to come in the state unless they meet this minimum floor. I think if there's a legislative piece we can do, that would be it. Outside of that, what I'm calling for is any community, any county that wants to put a moratorium in they should be able to, because oftentimes they don't even have a comprehensive plan about where they should go in the community, which is part of their job to do that. So I have spoken with county commissioners that are asking me what I think they should do, and I said, if you think you need more time, put a pause in place and set the rules of the game. When I'm governor, we're going to put the basic rules of the game in place. No tax incentives. You have to pay for your own electricity. You have to make sure the water quality and water usage concerns are addressed. And then we're going to let the counties make the decision on that. And I think what they'll find is that they'll have a win-win in their community, where these companies, I believe, will come to the table, because they're looking at Iowa as a very, very high-value target, so to speak, to have data centers, and we can see that. And so we just need to negotiate better.
So is that you would put in a statewide moratorium until you can figure out that framework?
Well, I think, no, the first thing I would do is put the framework in. And then that would be anything that wants to come in, that's it. Because we can put the framework in very quickly. I wouldn't want to waste time putting in place the moratorium when we can put the framework in right away. And then any county that wants to have a moratorium, they should do that.
So it should come from the county?
Oh yeah, well, I don't want to take away the control of the county. I want to say this is the minimum standards to be here, but the county should have control of these projects.
Aaron, you want to go next?
There is a constitutional amendment this fall that would require the legislature a 2/3 vote to increase taxes in the state. Do you have a message to Iowa voters on that one? Would you like?
I've only heard about that a little bit. I've talked to one or two people about it. My general theory on those things is more protections against tax increases for the people is a good thing. But in any of these things, there's always details and nuances. But look at Colorado; they had the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights. They had a lot of positive things that came out of that, and I really believe that there is a good opportunity to put in more protections for the people. But ultimately, look, it passed 2 general legislative sessions, and so the legislature said yes, and now it's up to the vote of the people. I think it's their choice now. But I think more protections on tax increases are a good thing.
Democrats have talked a lot about water quality monitoring. What's your message to voters about refunding some of the things that have been cut in recent years by the legislature, and the contrast between your and Sam's campaign on that?
Yeah, I think we can't fix what we're not monitoring. We have to know what the levels are. From the very beginning of this campaign, I said we need more water quality monitoring in the state, not less. I do think, as I look at the costs associated with this, there's got to be more innovative solutions to bring the cost down, because I would like to have water quality monitoring all over the state, not just in the tributaries, but also up into some of these streams if farmers would like to put some of these projects in themselves. I'm looking at doing one on my own farm right now, because I look at the cost of tens of thousands of dollars. And I was talking to a tech company the other day about how can we do this better. They run a lab right now in Iowa, and they said we could do it for much cheaper. So I think not only can we save money, but we can increase the amount of monitoring that we have in the state. I don't think this should be a partisan issue. It's definitely not to me.
Yeah, following up on that, these are some really powerful interests. Are you worried about, when we talk about big agriculture corporations, breaking them up, are you worried about being able to deliver all those promises once you're going to?
Well, I think it's going to be a battle, no doubt about it. But here's the deal. I think in any of these fights, the best place to be in one of these fights is to have the people on your side. And so if Iowa leads on this, farmers in Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas, Illinois, Oklahoma, Texas, they will also want to join in and put pressure on their AG and their administrations to join in with us. Look, we have a rich history of taking care of monopolies in our state. Like I said, John Latham's out there right now. He is fighting Bayer on his own right now. We should be helping him because that company has been putting in place anti-competitive behaviors, and we need to make sure that we are leveling the playing field, so to speak. So am I worried about how much effort it'll take? Well, I know it'll take a lot of effort, but it's the right thing to do, and we've been asleep at the wheel for a very long time, both on the state and the federal level.
What did you make of the Fox News poll that showed you down by 8 points?
I think that it's the outlier of all the polls that we've seen. Most of the trend that we've seen is I was down by 9 points. Then the most recent one, we were down by 5. That was cut in half after Rob Sand spent $9 million and about 6 of that attacking me. And so if you look at that, I posted about it online. but I won't get into the details of it. But basically, they actually polled more Harris voters than they did Trump voters in the state that Trump won by 13 points. It didn't make sense, but you can look at other polls, the Emerson poll that we've seen come out. The trend is that we're closing the gap, and I think we're only going to continue doing that.
I know it was a short speech, but you made no mention of the president today. Was that just an error?
I'm talking about Iowa, and that's why I think if you cover any of my events, that's what we do. We talk about Iowa. Yeah, I've been thankful to have President Trump's endorsement. I know Bobby Kennedy's come out to help our campaign pretty soon, and I'm really thankful for that too. But this entire campaign, I've been talking about Iowa.
You have talked about suing the federal government on overreach.
Yeah.
If they stick the immunity for fertilizer into the farm bill, will you sue?
Well, I don't think I don't. Here's the problem with what's going on with immunity for pesticide companies, is that the Supreme Court has now ruled on it. And so I don't yet know what the next step on that would be. Honestly, after I saw the ruling, I was disheartened, very disheartened. And so I haven't yet had the time to dig into that. But I'd be surprised if they do put that in the Farm Bill, just because they already have the Supreme Court that's ruled on it. And that took a long time to process through the Darnell case, which I said from the very beginning. I disagreed with the executive order. I disagree with the Supreme Court's ruling. I believe that companies have the onus is on them to put the warning on the label, on the companies, not on the EPA. And so I hope we can find something to do there, but I have not dug into that yet.
Is there something on which you would like the state to sue right now that they're not?
Well, yeah, I think on some of these regulations that are keeping family farmers from being able to participate in the USDA school food program, anything basically that a government bureaucrat has created that wasn't legislatively passed, we have the ability to challenge that with the Chevron deference, and I think we should be using that. I actually think the Trump administration would want us to be suing, because the federal government is it's a bureaucratic mess, and nobody knows where all the tentacles go for the regulations that have been created over the past 40, 50 years. And so what we do know is the federal government has taken far too much control out of state hands, and we need to have more back into state control. So that would be one I would like to do, although I think I can work with Secretary Rollins and get that fixed.
That's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything you can share about RFK helping your campaign?
Yeah, coming soon. I think maybe we'll be having an event next week. We're still working out the details. I don't know if we can announce that yet, but we're still working out the details. So it'll definitely be it'll be news.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir!